Hey, it's Joseph here with another video, and it's a nice day out here in the Rio Grande Valley. And today I'm going to talk about something that's not talked about too much in the vinyl community. And the subject is compilation albums. And in this day of video streaming and checking things out on YouTube, the the appeal of compilations albums might be somewhat out of date, but back in the day when I started listening to music as a young person in my in my early teens and even before that, compilations were actually an essential part of a way to discover music that you had never heard before. And so I'm going to share with you three jazz compilations that a couple of them I've had since way back in the early days of collecting, back when I was a teen, and there's one more recent album. I'm going to see if my cat doesn't get in the way, as sometimes they do. They like to join in. But first of all, I'm going to share with you this album actually belonged to my dad back in the day, and this is Blue Notes, 3 Decades of Jazz, 1949 to 1959. And as you can see, it's pretty well worn, and it's a gatefold. Here on the gatefold, there's a picture of Horace Silver, Art Blakey, Bud Powell, Jimmy Smith, and it's on the came out in 1969, and it's on the typical Blue Note label of the 60s of that era. There you go, Blue Note. But what's beautiful about this album is back when my dad bought it, probably around 1969, we hadn't heard a lot of these particular cuts. And this one is just a beautiful sample of the Blue Note artists. It includes tracks like Bud Powell playing Night in Tunisia, Monk playing Crisscross, Get Happy by the J.J. Johnson Quartet, Clifford Brown, Cherokee. The one that always caught my attention as a young person was Miles Davis playing It Never Entered My Mind. I had never heard, and this is the version of Miles Davis playing with, it's not the later version, but this one is Horace Silver, Percy Heath, Art Blakey from 1954. But on this version, he's got such a beautiful tone with that mute, and I actually prefer this one to the later version, the one that he did with Train and Red Garland and such. But beautiful album, and the recording quality is quite excellent. Another standout track for me, I always enjoyed Sonny Clark. He does the great version of Speak Low with John Coltrane on tenor. But if you ever see this album, they're probably around pretty cheap. But if you want to get a good sample of the Blue Note artistry from 1949 to 59, this is an excellent go-to album. And I believe there's some other later years where they do different decades, but I think this is the essential one if you're going to get into it. This is volume 1, 1949 to 59, Blue Notes, 3 Decades of Jazz. And here's another compilation album. This is one that I bought on my own back in, this was from 1970. This is called Fill Your Head with Jazz, 25 All-Time Giants of Jazz. And once again, this is also a double album, gatefold. There's some notes by esteemed jazz writer Gene Lees, and this is on the very typical 1970s Columbia label. But this was really a gateway to a lot of different music for me when I was a teen. And right off the bat, there's the classic Miles Davis tune, 7 Steps to Heaven, which when I first put this album on, I had never heard 7 Steps to Heaven. It's got a great track by Chico Hamilton and Gabor Szabo, one for Joan, where it features Charles Lloyd on tenor, the classic Rhythm and Ink with Thelonious Monk. What other standout tunes here? Moanin' by Lambert, Hendricks, and Ross. I had never heard the trio of the vocal trio of Lambert, Hendricks, and Ross. What's interesting here, there's a version of Song for My Father, but it's not the Horace Silver version. It's a version by Art Farmer, with Art Farmer, Jimmy Heath, Cedar Walton, and Mickey Roker on drums. The one other standout here that really blew my mind back in the day, and still, I think it's probably the outstanding version, is Charles Lloyd's Forest Flower on this album. It's the version with his band of Charles Lloyd on tenor, Don Friedman on piano, Eddie Kahn, and Roy Haynes really kicking it on drums. But I really love that. Also a beautiful Dave Brubeck tune, Trolley Song, really beautiful sounding with Paul Desmond, of course, on alto. And just a winning album. I used to put this album on when I was laying down and really wanted to just chill out and wanted to hear maybe a variety of music. And this always definitely fit the bill because I just really enjoyed it. And I've been spending the last couple of days, and it's still a joy to hear this mixed bag of tunes. And last but not least, this is an album I picked up maybe about 6 years ago. Found it for very, very cheap, and it's called Jazz is Busting Out All Over. And there's the back cover, and it's from, I believe it's from 1958. So it's on that burgundy Savoy label. Very clean vinyl. But on this album, it's got, of course, different artists who were with Savoy at the time. It's got a session led by an arranger called Billy Verplank with Phil Woods, Bill Harris in the band. And then it's also got, the next cut is a group led by Frank West on flute, and Kenny Burrell on guitar. There's also a track with Yusef Lateef and Wilbur Hardin. Another session, another cut with Frank Foster on tenor sax and Donald Byrd on trumpet. And the Sonny Red, who would go on to record for Blue Note, does a cut called Stop, the old Fats Navarro song, with Sonny Red alto sax, Wynton Kelly piano, Pepper Adams on baritone sax. And very cool album cover. It's got that modern art look that was very typical on the Savoy albums. But the sound quality on this is excellent. So it's a winning compilation all around. And like I say, you know, the need for compilation albums is somewhat passe now, but they're still definitely a fun listen to, and they can be obtained pretty cheap in the bins. So anyways, share with me if there's any favorite compilation albums that you're into, or if you're into them at all. And anyways, like, subscribe. Until next time, Joseph out.